What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some more r/entitled parent stories for you. My entitled aunt thinks I work at a store I worked at 4 years ago and demands a discount. Okay, first off, my aunt is a real lady. She uses our family for her gain and gives zero Fs about anyone else but herself and her image and her friends. She will only ever talk to us if we have something that she wants. She lives in one of the most expensive parts of Sacramento, while our immediate family all lives and has lived in the same area nearly my mum and aunt's entire lives. She's very entitled and thinks highly of herself. Her and her husband and children are the type of people who are always keeping up with the Joneses. She has to be admired and loved by strangers. She scams money out of whoever she can, especially my grandma, which is how she's able to live in such an expensive area and claim back issues and not work. Or she'll work and immediately quit if someone doesn't like her, smoke and hang out all day while her husband gets drunk and acts like an idiot. With that out of the way, let me tell you what happened Friday afternoon. Now, I am the semi-black sheep of my family. I'm not mean, I'm not rude, I don't talk rubbish, nor do I socialize much with my family because I know they don't really like having me around. So no one ever calls or talks about me in regards of how I am or what I'm doing, which is usually nothing. So I was surprised to get a phone call from my aunt, the entitled idiot. I didn't know the number, I didn't know at the time how she got my number, but I was waiting on a call from my doctor, so I answered without a second thought. So I answer, hoping it's my doctor, but I hear my aunt's voice. She and I have never been close. I don't like her. I don't think I've ever liked her. I burned myself as a child because she wouldn't let me have a bath since she was entertaining her friends and getting high. So I went and made myself a bath and burned most of the skin on my legs, thighs and butt off. That's how much I hated her. And her daughter would steal my dolls, toys, whatever she could get her hands on, and she never gave them back. Nor would anyone believe me when I'd find my stuff destroyed at their house. Anyway, I answered and I'm extremely confused when I hear this idiot's voice. She tries to sound all sweet and nice. Hey, how you doing? Grandma says you're sick. Yeah, I am. I absolutely hate talking, especially to this idiot on the phone. Okay, she's quiet before she gets to the point as to why she's calling me. The one niece she hasn't or couldn't steal or con from. Well, you still work at Party Town, right? My grandson needs a costume for Halloween. I want a discount or you can sneak one out for me. I kinda just sat there thinking, is this lady serious? Did she really just say that? Did she ask me for something I cannot do even if I wanted to without asking nicely with a please? And did she not know what day it was? The store would be packed to heck with parents who couldn't make more time to get a Halloween costume 6 days before Halloween. What? Are you high? I don't work there. I worked there 4 years ago for like 2 months. Who said I worked there, and why would you think I'd give you a discount or steal for you of all people? I was annoyed to heck and back by being told what someone else tells me what I'm gonna do. And it's a week before Halloween, there's no costumes left. My aunt let out this weird sound and starts saying something like, don't be selfish, your cousin, who's thieving by the way, needs a costume for her son. He's only 3 years old, are you really gonna be a lady and not get him a costume? After a little rage, all I can do is just laugh. I had taken some pain meds for my knee, so I'm kinda loopy and tired and thinking I'm dreaming, and all I do is laugh. I can hear my sticky-fingered cousin chime in, calling me a selfish lady and how she's gonna get me fired for stealing. Somehow, they came up with the idea that I steal costumes for my teenage nephews at a job I don't work at, because my grandma told them I worked there once 4 years ago during Halloween. She and my cousin are still yelling at me on the phone until I stop laughing. My eyes are closed and I'm on the edge of sleep, and I tell them I don't work there, I haven't worked there in 4 years. I was working with my mum until 2 years ago, you stupid idiots. God dang, you guys can't stop coming up with scams and schemes long enough to get facts straight before you call and harass people? You don't listen to grandma tell you about us when you come down asking for money. F off, you ingrates. That's all I remember before I passed out. I woke up Saturday morning with a stiff leg and missed calls and texts from my grandma and aunt. My grandma was apologizing and said she set my aunt straight, but an hour later my aunt calls and says, you can get grandma to lie for you, but I know you're a selfish lady like your mum and you won't even help out the family. I just listened to her, tired as anything, trying to stretch my leg and let her go on. I'm going to be in later today for my grandson's costume and it better be half off or free. Yeah, I would love to see that. But even if I could stand to walk or be in public, I don't care enough to watch her humiliate herself or try and belittle seasonal employees. And she didn't even tell me what costume she was looking for anyway. If I worked there, was I just supposed to grab any toddler costume for her punk butt? I feel bad for the kid, but my aunt is such an effing lady and she's hurt my grandma too much for me to even consider helping her or my cousins. Wow, your aunt is certainly something else. Like, I understand that she wants something from you, that's fine, but the fact that she doesn't even make some sort of conversation or even find out if you're still working there is so stupid. And then, yeah, her entitledness just shines through. Moving on to our second story, speak English or GTFO. So for some background, I'm severely hard of hearing but consider myself deaf. I mean, when your hearing is that shot, you might as well be. I also operate a very small local deaf meetup group in my local area, which includes a hearing person, one of my roommates, who just seems to enjoy hanging out with us, and we're fine with that. When with the group, I don't wear my hearing aids, as that roommate is usually fine with handling things if and when hearing is needed. He's a trooper. At this particular meetup, which happened this morning at Shoney's for their breakfast, we came across an entitled parent. Onto the story. Everyone was seated, casually nomming their favourite breakfast items from the breakfast bar at Shoney's. Everyone signing and giggling back and forth with one another and enjoying our time together. But we did notice a kid that was nearby bugging my roommate about something. I wouldn't know what's being said until after we arrived home after the meetup, and will include the conversational bits where relevant. Why aren't any of you talking? Oh, I can talk. They are deaf and can't hear speech, so we use sign language to talk. Oh, that's cool. The kid runs off and my roommate didn't think any more of it. It's not uncommon for someone to ask about sign language here or there, or ask us how to say something or get advice on where they can learn the language. Liveprint.com if you are personally interested, it's free and where we typically send folks. Sounds like nothing spectacular so far, I know, but it wasn't until we were ending our little meetup and start saying our goodbyes when the kid's mother approaches our table. Again, the deafies are just thinking yet another person with a sign language question, the here he can handle it. But apparently, this kid's mum was so offended that we weren't speaking vocally that she intended to make her stupid opinion known. You need to stop doing the hand signal stuff and speak English. It's very rude. I'm sorry, what? These guys are deaf, so... But the entitled mum cuts him off. I don't care if they're deaf. They can speak English like everyone else in America. No, they can't. Literally, 2 of these people were born completely deaf. They don't know what English even remotely sounds like. It's not my fault they're idiotic. They should still speak English, and you too. Stop messing about with your hands, it's very rude. It's very rude to insist people with a disability to cater to your sensibilities, and honestly, I wish I were deaf myself, so I wouldn't have to hear the screeching of a heartless lady with less than 2 brain cells to rub together. Wow, good comeback. You can't speak like that around children. She ends up huffing and running off. At this point though, she's gotten the attention of everyone at our meetup. We all were thinking that was the end of it, and the roommate signed to us telling us, crazy lady thinks we're throwing gang signs and other stupid stuff, everything's fine. Well, we've seen that before. Well, turns out the entitled mum ended up getting the manager demanding we be kicked out. So enter manager stage left. The manager arrives at the table with the entitled mum and the poor kid in tow. The entitled mum's looking smug, like she just accomplished something huge. I've got a complaint that your entire party has been rude and is cussing. The manager notices sign language being used and asks the entitled mother, Mom, do you know what they're saying? No, not at all. They're not speaking English, which is very rude. We're in America, and in America we speak English. The roommate swears this is what she said, and since we do live in the sticks, I wouldn't put it past that someone would say something like this. Mom, we can't kick people out for not speaking English. But they're insulting me and my kid. Just look at them. At this point, it's worth noting that when we're discussing something or someone, if the object of discussion is available, they're pointed at. At no point in our discussion did we point at the entitled mother nor her kid. What we were talking about was various subjects, from cats to the girl we got recently invited from Walmart talking about wanting to get a fish tank and a small fighter beta and other places they'd like to go for the next meetup. So nothing involving the entitled parent nor her kid. But my roommate says, actually, he points to one of us, she's talking about getting a fish tank and getting a beta fish. Points to me. He's getting information on where the next meetup might take place. Points to the black guy. He's talking about a kitten he recently adopted. Points to the entitled mother, and she's being rude, insisting deaf people need to stop using sign language to accommodate her stupid sensibilities. The manager surprisingly signs to the group, asking if we found everything to our liking. We all practically say yes to some degree, yes, okay, etc., different signs. The manager proceeds to inform the entitled mother that she'll need to leave us alone or he will have to ask her to leave. She apparently continued to complain about how we continued to sign after all this and was asked to leave. She did, and apparently screamed how she's never coming back. The manager gave us 10% off our bills, except the roommate who dealt with the brunt of it, who got his meal free. Well, good for him. And this reminds me of one of my favorite ever stories from this subreddit. I'm not sure why some entitled parents have an obsession with sign language, but yeah, it's very funny. Now, if you haven't seen that story, you can click the video on screen right now. And that is going to be the end of this video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, click the video on screen like I said before. Also, like and subscribe for more daily Reddit content on the channel.